Hey there, AfterBuzzers. Welcome to the Expanse After Show. We're talking more protomolecule. Oh my goodness, way too much to deal with. We have mutiny, we get Naomi backstory, and sort of an apology. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, that music comes in. Oh, just makes me feel pumped. Oh, and we got the lights. What's up? And welcome to the Expanse After Show. We're talking episode 5, Triple Point. My name is Kari Lane. I'm joined by my awesome co-host,
Cherry. How are y'all doing?
And we're talking, like I said, episode 5, Triple Point, season 3. And we do have the news, which if you didn't already know, Syfy has decided not to renew the Expanse, but that does not mean all hope is lost. They are looking around to possibly get a different host for this show. So definitely be tweeting out there, letting different networks, platforms know where Expanse should go, because it's definitely, you know, seeing fans come together lets them know, like, oh, this actually has a following. So
yes,
do your part.
Saved that TV show from
Timeless came back because fans protested. Brooklyn Nine-Nine got picked up by Hulu, so
within 24 hours.
Yes.
My gosh, so let's do this.
Yes. And then we do have a live chat on this show, so join us on YouTube if you're watching it live. And if you're watching it later, no worries at all. Please comment down below. So let's just get right into it, because this episode has a lot of fun, juicy stuff. Initial thoughts, what'd you think?
I don't think the protomolecule and the hybrids want to be our friends.
Agreed. They're like, no, they're not going to work together. No, they're like, and we're doing our own thing. We start at the beginning. We get that. Oh, I love the effects on this show. They're just gorgeous. We get that map on the Rosie, and they're talking about where the UNN and the MCRN ships are going. They're going to go to Callisto, but it's just a shipyard, and they're kind of like, oh, okay, well, what's over there? And so they're trying to do their route to get undetected to Io, which is always so exciting. I forget what episode it was specifically, but remember when they did that like slingshot around a planet with Alex?
Yes.
Oh,
that was
so
awesome.
Cool.
And when they showed and really explained how it worked, I was, wow, I really wish I knew math and science a lot better than I do.
Yeah, well, this show is nice because it doesn't make it like too, I don't know what's going on, but enough that you're like, that's so cool and real.
Yes, it makes kids want to join STEM.
Right,
way to go,
science
Expanse.
Stuff. We meet the Hammurabi. There we go. Hammurabi, the MCRN ship. Ensign Sinopoli, which I will pull that up right now because we had someone explain that. Oh, if you could pull up last week's one. I just saw this. We had someone really helpfully comment on what that was about, the comment on Sinopoli, because we were like, wait, what is that? What's an ensign?
So I will go on last week's.
Yeah,
show.
so while you're looking that up, we got to meet Captain Sandrine Carino, which is the woman who's leading the ship, which, yay, another female captain.
Girl power.
And then her Lieutenant Durant, which I really liked them immediately when we met them. I thought they were rather interesting characters. Yes. And Sinopoli is brought in, talked to them, tells them about the message. And I love the, like, who was there? Who was there? Oh, yeah, you're going to tell us it's the Tooth Fairy, too?
He was not having that.
Yeah.
He didn't really know what to think about it, but I really liked it.
It was pretty, I understand how it could be pretty unbelievable of like, oh, really? All those people were together? So then we pop over to the Agatha Christie on the way to Io. Commander Nguyen pushing Southers out, and it just makes me like, ugh, like nails on a chalkboard.
He thinks he's slick, and Admiral Souther, because he's such a better captain, has much more loyal people willing to fight for him. And
I love that reveal.
Little mini meeting that they had. It was like, what? He was like, I believe in our people, but it sure feels like there's something wrong going on. I mean, ever since they picked up Kotyer, he knew something was going on, because why would Admiral Nguyen come on unless he was trying to be all slick and sneaky? And absolutely nobody likes Sadivar. Nobody trusts him. Nobody likes him.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. And this is kind of a fan shout out for last week. CC Chill 68 said ensign is the lowest level of commissioned naval officer. An ensign would be the same as second lieutenant in the Army, Marines, and Air Force. So thank you very much for those comments. It was very helpful. And again, thank you very much to Dominique Tipper, who joined us last week. If you didn't get to see that, we had Naomi herself in the studio breaking it all down. That was so fun.
It was so cool. And she said after she got off, I asked her about, are you ever going to apologize? Don't you feel wrong? And she's like, Naomi was like, no, she's not wrong. No. It's like, damn, girl.
Yeah, and we'll get to that apology too. We have Avasarala and Holden, which I love Avasarala so much.
Oh my God. She is wearing that pantsuit.
Oh, that pantsuit looks so good.
She's in charge. She's playing her little game. She's getting James being like all mothering with him, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna make you my little boy, and then you're gonna do what I want. Yes. Happy Mother's Day, girl.
Yeah, right, exactly. Oh no, that moment too when he's like, oh, do you still have that Atlas statue? And she's like, no, I shattered it when my son died. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good point.
No kids in the room. I'm the adult.
Exactly. We get the crazy reveal that Naomi was right. Earth does not have the protomolecule, because she's like, no, you can't destroy it because we need it too, which to study it, quote unquote. Yes. Do you believe her? Comment down below. Do you think it's honest? They're really trying to study it? Or I think she has good intentions. I just don't know if whoever's going to study it does.
She wants to do the right thing. She wants it as not even mutual mass destruction, but just to know how the protomolecule works, because she's had firsthand experience with it, and she knows it's not just like lead or some inanimate object. It has a sentence that does not seem to have humanity's best interest in heart.
Yeah. Well, speaking of humanity's best interest, she goes, I used to be Earth first. And now she's like, no, I only care about the survival of our species, which I definitely think that. And that's what I was talking about before, is like, that's what these people need. All the human beings gather together to fight against the alien, which generally is what happens. It's the only thing that humans can be like, all right, I forgive you. We're good. Let's go fight that other thing. Enemy of my enemy is my friend.
I know we need to get together, need some counseling. You know what they really need? They need Maria in their lives.
They do.
They need to have some fun, to learn and grow in all areas, not only of their lives, but our lives. For those who do, have we got the podcast for you. It's Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. It's hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life. From health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more, let our Maria be the big sister you've always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know it was us, the Expanse team, that sent you there. Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. Check it out.
Nice.
I do every week, and I always love not only what she has to say, but the people she brings on. It kind of makes me rethink the path I'm on.
Well, Avasarala is not changing her path.
No, she's not.
But she wants to save the world, or at least try, and tells Holden, like, he goes, I tried to save the world, but it didn't work. But she points out, exactly, at least you tried.
Yes.
And I liked, she's all, stop acting like a child, because she's like, you've never acted like a child, so stop acting like one. I was like, yes!
We need to grow up. I mean, if you just passively stand there, the protomolecule and the hybrids will take over humanity, and we will cease to exist.
Yep.
You know,
no big deal.
Left and right, taking our innards out. That is not the way I want to go.
No, thank you. Oh, we get such a sweet little moment. We get Alex gets a message from, we think, his wife, but it's actually his son. And he's like, warriors make sacrifices, and I want to grow up and be just like you. And you're just like, aw.
And he wants to fight for Mars too. I was like, oh, you're so cute. You pinch your little
And
cheeks.
you're like, oh, you don't even know. But I hope Alex hasn't given up on his family now then, because he had that little message. And the kid's like, I know. You're doing what you need to do.
I loved how he snuck outside in his little
he's like, so mom doesn't know.
See. Naughty little boy. I was terrified watching that scene. I kept thinking
I thought something was
going to
happen
molecule was going to come, or they're going to blow him up. I'm like, and then we heard the fire, and I was like, oh. And they said, no, it's not.
Yes.
My little boy is safe.
100%. I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, don't have something creeping up behind him. Were you guys nervous? I was like, please don't. Please don't. Because, yeah, the shot, which happened in the next scene, totally did kind of make me jump, but that's Prax doing the gun training with Amos, which was
Prax
smart.
is getting, some darkness is getting into his soul.
Yes. Yes, yes. Because Amos has that, like, okay, we're going to be good. We're going to get your daughter back. And Prax is like, or get even. Next best thing. And you're like, oh, you went dark.
He went dark really hard. And I love that Amos is almost getting to be his moral center.
Yes.
And gaining the independence he did not have when Naomi was running his life.
Yeah.
But Chris Servicki was saying the protomolecule is like the one ring you cannot use it for good. It must be destroyed in the fires of the sun.
Oh,
wow.
Thank you. Thank you in the chat. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good point.
Oh my gosh. And he also agrees that kid was adorable.
Yeah, cute little
So
kid.
cute.
Yes. But you know what, though? And then let me know your thoughts. I think for Prax, I understand he still wants to, I do believe he still wants to save his daughter, but he's mentally preparing himself for if she's not able to be saved, which is such a hard position for a parent to be in, or anyone you love. You're like, let me be ready in case they're not ready. Do you think you'd take a similar path, or?
I really think so, because once they get infected with the protomolecule, they really seem to lose all humanity, unless it's at the very, very, very beginning when it's barely in them. So if they grabbed in there now, while they only did one shot, she might still be okay. But I find that once their eyes start turning blue,
they're gone.
That's it.
Yep.
There's no changing. And it sounds like what Dr. Strickland says is once they start being injected with the protomolecule, even when you stop injecting them, it's still
growing
reconstituting their inside somehow.
Yeah.
Dr. Strickland's a douche nozzle, and so is
dangerous.
Pierre. I could just whack both of them upside their heads.
Yeah.
I'm not a violent person, but I'd make an exception.
Oh, those
for
two, yes, bad people for sure. Well, good person. We get Southers, who meets with So some of these people, we only said their names like once or twice, or I was like looking at their badges. So we get Mancuso and Schaefer, who are the two officers that are with him, and they reveal they've been monitoring the comms, and that's what you said earlier, Cherry, like they're like pointing out something's off, and how we're loyal to you and ready to make a move, and there's other people, and you're just like, we're gonna have a mutiny. Which was like, I was so hopeful.
Yes. And I like how his
though.
second and third in command, without his prompting, was already whispering to everybody, like, dude, if we can get him, what? This isn't right. And I'm like, yes, girl, yes. First
So
of all,
glad
the
they're
women
on it.
are so, like, I'm like, dang, girl. The women on this show are constantly taking charge. They're not dependent on a man, and it's really not about them trying to hook up with someone. It's about their power, and they're taking charge. Even if it's in the wrong decision. Yeah. They still are decisive, and none of them speak in a passive tone, which I kind of like a lot.
And then even also with that, though, because sometimes when you have two pro-female of something, it can mean the males are lesser characters. But on this show, no. It's like we're equally male and female characters are awesome. Because it's like that's what is an ideal show or movie, is not where like, oh, one's just better and the others suck. Because then that's just not fair.
Yeah, it's a lot of give and take with everyone. And Art Dog said that Christian's speech was great, which I totally agree, because it really, I think she's really trying to put little seeds in Holden to sort of get him to grow and go in her direction. Yeah,
but I trust her direction, so I'm okay with it.
I'm totally cool with what she's doing.
Oh, but we get, speaking of people that you're just like, Boyer, the guy who is working under Nguyen, I wanted to smack that kid upside the head. I was like, oh, you slimy little underling.
He drank the Kool-Aid.
He did. He took the whole punch bowl and had it, yes. Well, he does that kind of, don't you know Nguyen was in that battle to kind of win over the other officers? I don't buy your lies. I mean, I believe he was there. Yes. But no sympathy points. Yes. Nope.
And he probably exaggerated what he did anyway. Yeah. You know, he doesn't seem like the type that's really going to like...
Nguyen helping other people?
Yeah. No. Probably hidden in a bunker somewhere. Yeah, totally. I was like, everything okay? Yeah. I saved everybody.
I'm still alive, yeah.
Everyone else is dead, so they can't deny what I did.
Exactly.
That's why he shot everybody. That way when the lies come out, he'll be able to say, it was them. And Southland, he's the one that shot off all the protomolecule. Not me.
Yeah, he's all, not me. Then we get Bobby repairing her suit. Which, thank you. She finally is like, okay, you killed the protomolecule. How? Which is what I was talking about last week, because I'm like, it's great that she notices, oh, you guys killed it. How? It's an important question, because especially if she's going into battle to fight it, needs to know how. So I'm so thankful on this episode. Ask Alice, okay, wait, you killed it. Please tell me how.
Yes. Well, she asked them last week, and the other ones were being very cagey. Like, they didn't want her to know.
Like, this should have been a whole lesson.
Yes.
This is how we killed it.
I find Alex looks at everything very dispassionately and more towards the betterment of humanity, while Amos and them are still sort of like, oh, you're Mars, we're only like Mars. And they don't trust her. They don't trust her at all, especially Amos. Amos and her are both Marines, are both like kind of tough. I think once they get in a knockdown fight, they'll get along a lot better.
They just need to fight and get over with. Yep. But with that moment, we learned she's essentially ready to fight and kill the protomolecule herself, because Alex is thinking, well, you don't need to know how to fight. Oh, because she's loading up the weapons on her suit, and Alex says, no, you can just run, but she's ready to fight, and I believe it.
You have to fight. Protomolecule hybrids are not going to say, dude, I don't want to fight you, so I'm going to go.
Yeah,
they're going to
peace
chase
out.
you down. So they're like, peace out.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting that they didn't act like everything would work together, because they're all separate government agencies, and so their things are not made to be interlocking, because they wouldn't want you to be able to use...
that's true. That's a good point, that she could use the different stuff.
But she'd have to, but it was like her having to jury rig it.
She had to adjust it,
It wouldn't be able to like just plug it in.
Yeah. We see poor Katoa, who is now aged, because I was like, wait, he has an Adam's apple. He
looks
older.
like a lot older.
I think as in the protomolecule adjusted him, I think it also aged him in a way, for sure. Much worse. He's in that creepy chamber.
Yes.
And that's also when we get Mal pointing out, okay, hey, when you said the disassembly, you're talking about the arbor gas, which we talked about as well, which in the book, not just the ship got disassembled, the people did too, which Katoa did last week. Lovely, disgusting, and I loved all that. That was such great practical effects of the body on the ground. And I'm making a face for those listening, but it's one of those, and smiling because it looks so good. So wonderfully disgusting.
And the expression on May's face before he knew what she was saying, I was like, why is she looking at her little friend like that? Just because he's blue?
Oh, yeah. Be like, no, run away.
She was out. She's like, I don't want to be friends with you no more. I'm out.
She's like, no, this is dangerous.
Peace.
But Mao unsuccessfully tries to learn the protomolecule's goal, and we learn about the work and up, and I'm doing air quotes too, because it's like, well, we don't know what that means
or what it means, but it can't be anything good.
No, but it's what's going down on Venus a bit, but we don't know. Now I'm curious because again of trying not to, I'm not spoiling anything because the books, because they're very different. Especially right now, like book 3 and like season 3, we're like, ugh, which is cool because then it's not too much of an overlap. So on Venus, there's structures being built. We haven't seen those really on the show, but they don't know what the structures are because they can't really get down into Venus, but they know that there are some sort of almost like buildings being built. So I wonder if that's what we're going to see later of the up, as in like skyscrapers. I don't know what those mean, but that was something in the book of what they were learning.
Yeah, who knows? They may be building a new civilization. They might be bringing some sort of ship to bring even more creatures over, or it might be some weapon to kill all humans, or to terraform everybody into
make them. Back with Nguyen and Schaefer and that back on that ship. The message finally gets to Southers because Schaefer got it to him, and then where did it go? The Captain Carino sent it to him. We were wondering. I was worried she might not, and we know she did. Yes. But the great moment, which I love Cotillard. We need more of him in the show.
I love him.
He's so funny and charming and mischievous.
He was scary the first time we met him. And I was like, you know what? He's kind of bad, but he does have a moral core that I totally agree with.
Yeah. Well, because that's the moment where Southers is like, which very understandably wants to verify the information. Okay, Cotillard, what was exactly in that message? Let's see how much they line up. Oh, they're exactly the same.
Yes.
It's true.
That was really good.
And then, of course, I actually, in my notes, I wrote Boyer, annoying underling, when he comes in and, hey, Nguyen wants you on the bridge. Like, damn nabbits.
Yes.
It's like can't get a break.
It's really hard to plan a rebellion half-assed.
We get Jim and Naomi. This is when we finally get the pseudo apology, and I wrote Jim because that's what she says. She doesn't say James, doesn't say Holden. Jim. And she points out, even though all they've been through, you don't really know me, which isn't his fault.
Yes.
So you're like, okay, where's this going? And he points out to her, okay, you were right about Vasarala and Earth, which is nice because then, you know, a little give and take of a conversation. And, finally, she goes, I want you to understand why I did it. Thank you. Words, communication. It lets people know what you're thinking and feeling and why you did things. Because, that's the thing that's just so frustrating sometimes with shows, because you just want the two people, please just talk it out. Please just talk.
Does anybody do that in real life?
Not enough.
No.
You need to bring it up and be like, yo, we got to talk about this. There's a problem.
That's not how it works. I love
you
that
can try.
Scene. It was
really
really
it's so
good.
Sweet.
And like the look on his face when she walked away because he let her know that he understood what she was saying, but she still isn't forgiven. Like I see like cracks.
I wrote he sort of forgives her. That was my notes. Sort of. Baby steps. I feel this is baby steps. They're not going to jump into a romantic relationship, I think, right away. But I feel it's a step towards him forgiving her.
I think he
or understanding her better.
I think he really forgive her. It made him very frustrated that she did that.
Yes.
And that she had so behind their back.
Yeah.
And that she felt the need to confess it. Once again, keep that stuff to yourself.
No, this was. Oh yes, then yes.
I put that to my. I've gone to my grave with that.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got it. What?
What a surprise! Yeah.
I'm shocked as all of you.
So we get which we were kind of wondering, I think, about in season 1 or 2. I remember our panel talking about wondering if Naomi had a child. Boom, she did. Oh my goodness, because we were talking about it. We're like, does she have a kid? We get little Philip.
Was that in the book?
I think it's not talked about much. It's one of those, if they mentioned it, it was a while ago.
Like 1 or 2 lines? Okay.
Yeah. There's not this conversation.
Yeah.
And if it is, it's the problem with it is some of this, I think, happened more in book 2. So now it's been a while. So I'm like, well,
Sounds like she was in a very abusive relationship with a domineering, controlling man. Which is why when she and Holden first got together, it felt very much like she was trying to be emotionally distant to him.
Well, she said to be
and now
numb.
We know why.
Yeah. Well, she points out, ran with the OPA. She had a baby. Her lover took away the baby, and that's why she signed up for the Canterbury, which is like, because she didn't do what he wanted her to do, which is crazy. That he's able to get her kid and peace out, and she can't.
I think he just took off. I think he just ran off, and I couldn't figure out if he was a birther, was he an earther?
I think he was a belter too.
I assume he was a belter, but if he was a belter, doesn't that mean he's on that ship somewhere? I don't understand.
They can be on other ships. The way she went to the Canterbury, he could have taken the kids somewhere else.
Any ship. It'd be hard to find.
Yeah, well, because then she imagined her son being in danger the way other belters were too, and that's why she also, I think, probably gave the protomolecule to Fred Johnson because, in a way, to protect her son, which she didn't directly say that, but kind of leaning that direction, I think.
I hope he's not on Io.
I know, right? Be like, no. So, finally, so glad we got that info because we had wondered for so long, does Naomi, like, what's this backstory? I also think her opening up to Holden will help bridge their relationship. Do you think so?
I think so. I mean, really, how can you get to know someone when you're right in the middle of the start of a war with some alien creature? It's hard. I felt that they both were more of the lines of finding each other attractive and needing some something to hold on to, but they didn't really have time to talk. No. Because when they would have had time to talk, all of a sudden, what the heck is that protomolecule? And then all of a sudden, hell went to handbasket time.
Which she kind of mentioned because she says something to the extent of, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. Do we have some interesting comments in the chat?
We have a few, so I'm going to go back a little bit.
All right. Yes.
Carlos Anglada says, over time, I've grown to think that people that high up in the military are closer to politicians than soldiers. Totally agree with that. Yes. Chris Servicki says, Wynn knows he's in the wrong when his entire fleet won't obey him. Totally right. Douglas, power corrupts and all that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And Douglas says, I'm still on the fence if Wynn is a true believer or scheming. Can we say B word?
Biatch?
B-A. I think so. I'm going to go and
Sure.
say it. Bastard. Like Aaron
Oh,
Wright.
yeah. I feel that's on the
Everybody
lower
hates
words.
Aaron. Like, nobody likes Aaron Wright. Nobody trusts him. Nobody likes him. He has no loyalty. Unless there is power or money, there's nothing you can do. And then Carlos Anglada says, I never really felt Naomi needed to break down her decision to supply the belt with the PM. Yes, thank you, Carlos, for agreeing with me. She got to the grave with that.
Yeah.
Lie.
But
That's
I
how relationships
appreciate
survive.
I appreciate that she's not going to apologize for doing it, but how she did it, which is what we all kind of were saying and what the crew were saying. Because even Amos is upset about the way she did it. Because often, sometimes it's not how one does something. I mean, not what somebody does, but it's how you do it that causes the bigger problem. So I'm glad she sort of apologizes because I was like, yes, you stand up for your beliefs. I very much beg to differ that Nguyen thinks he's in the wrong. He is like, F you all who are not following me. I'm in the right, and we are going to destroy everything. So I think he's cray-cray at this point.
Was cray-cray.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, dude, what did you think would happen? When you did that, the other ships are like, even the ones that were not running away kind of evaluated what he did, and they're like, we, A, trusted Southland from the get-go, and now this just proves, A, they heard you shoot him, and B, now they know what you're up to with
Southers.
So
We're doing tongue twisters.
Are like so hard for me.
Oh no, it's all good.
Him shooting him while he was on the intercom, and I almost wonder if maybe
that was creepy.
Still gonna go out.
Yeah, there was that moment too where he, well, right before that we have Nguyen reaches out to Mao. They talk to each other. Gets the launch control, and Mao's family and the funds are released. He goes, Southers, you're relieved of duty, but bam, the Hammurabi shows up, and then that's when, like, starts going into chaos. I'm going to pause on that because that's a big chunk at the end. Put a pin on that. I was going to say, the last thing we got with Katoa, though, the control module for the brainstem and slowing it down when they're trying to figure out the work finished soon. How scary was that scene? When he's like, that part, I was like, ooh, this got scary real fast.
I thought it was kind of funny how Strickland was like, oh, we got to go.
We got out now.
Bounce.
Yes.
And they bounced out so
real
hard.
Fast. Oh,
and then watched. And it looked like they put him to sleep, not that they killed him.
Yeah, I think
he's not able to communicate anymore, so
I think he's past that point,
anyway,
but they need another conduit, and May is the next suitable candidate.
He thought about it for like 5 whole seconds.
Yes, and he's all, make it happen.
Yeah.
No! Make
I like
it so.
her, but I don't like her all that.
Yeah, he's like, I care more about the protomolecule info.
And the money and the power.
Oh, yes, back to the big war right before that all goes down. Captain Carino sends the message out to, we find out she sent the message. Sorry, because we weren't confirmed she was the one who sent it, and now she talks, and points out that war is, 1, intense emotion, 2, politics, and 3, luck.
Yes.
And away from all the politics and all the stuff going on, she's like, maybe this is luck, and maybe this is all supposed to happen. And thank you, figure out how not to fight, which with Dominique from last week pointing out, Naomi, that's her stance. Can we figure out not to kill each other?
Yes. The people who are going to be dying are the ones who really should be talking about it, as opposed to the politicians and the power that be that are on the planets moving people around like chess players.
Absolutely. And she finally, I like this captain so much because she doesn't want anybody to die, because even the other side, she says, okay, this is just going to be an all-out firefight. So yeah, it's just crazy in that sense.
Let them kill each other. And then that
that moment at the end, she's like, let them kill each other.
Let them kill each other.
Like, oh no. But she does say to all the Emsarian, hold your fire, and does reach out to the UN and says, if you guys don't fire, truce, and we'll offer assistance.
And let them be under their white flag.
Yes.
Which I think is going to be huge across all the universe.
Yes. So last chunk, we'll just go through how it all bounces around, because I love these scenes, how it's like back and forth of who's going down. With the Rosie landing on Io, we get May being strapped in. I was like, no. Do you think I think she's going to be okay, though. What do you think?
I think she's going to be okay, and it looks can I say that that we watched the very end that showed commercials from last week?
Yes.
It looks like they broke through the doorway somehow. But that looks like it's a big area, so I don't know how they find her.
We'll find out.
But I don't think they'll have time to give her any shots, and she'll be able to tell her father what's going on because she's the daughter of a scientist, and it looks like he would bring her in and explain things to her. So it looks to me like she's been very much observing what's going on anyway. Because even when she was like, well, what is that? What's up with your arm?
Yeah, a lot of questions.
She didn't say that don't look right, but her eyes were like, that doesn't look right. What's going on?
When the Rosie is landing, I love that Bobby's such a boss and not strapped in, just with her suit. She's like, toof, toof, in the doorway. Yes. The team goes in, cutting the door open, and Nguyen notices, why aren't they firing? But Captain Carino, smart, don't shoot people. But then we have Nguyen going, shoot everything we have.
Yes.
So then this is the, with Southers when he does the all ships channel. Thank you. But then murdered by Nguyen, which I had wondered if the comms were still open, because it's not like they said, and stop.
No, the comms are still open.
Yeah.
That's what caused everyone to fire on him.
Yeah.
Because he really didn't have to kill him. Yeah. He could have had his staff
you think,
taken down.
Yes.
But I think he realized things were going sideways.
Yep.
And that he needed a quote unquote scapegoat, and that he was going to blame everything on everyone else. And probably they're going to say that the Martians fired on them anyway.
Probably. When he ordered the weapons lock on the Jimenez ship, I love that the other people go, whoa, ooh, no, not so much.
Step too far.
We get the resistance of how much the rest of the ship is, nope, we're not going to. So most of them had an untimely end, but at least they stood up for what they believe in.
Yes.
And decided not to do it, especially when there's the girl who I don't even think we got named, when she pushes away from the table of not doing the lock. Oh,
she was like, nah, I'm not down for that.
But then we get Nguyen shoot off the missiles himself. Damn, nabbit. We get the giant firefight, but yay, Schaefer shoots Nguyen at least one shot. So it's
in
like,
the belly.
Yeah, he's a nice side shot.
Yeah, so that's a painful one.
I think that was it. And then we get the craziness at the end, because at first we see Nguyen with the really creepy smile. And I notice, I'm like, okay, he launches a protomolecule pod.
Yes.
Pod. No. Oh, we'll say one. We get one. Oh, shit. They shot off tons. Oh my gosh. Were you surprised by how many went off?
I really
how many
thought
hybrids
he was
went up?
going to shoot just the Martian ship.
Just the one ship,
but
yes.
Instead, he shot everybody.
Yeah.
And he knows what the protomolecule does. So I think I've reevaluated his reasoning, and there's something more going on than him just hating Mars, because he fired on humans and he knows how it spreads like a disease. So I don't understand what's going on with him.
Well, this might be the example of, here, look what the protomolecule does, so that they can start selling it too.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's more in like a controlled, I think that would be more useful if it was more controlled.
That's true.
Because they still don't know how to make them do
things. No, they do not.
And once they're just infected without being in the humans that are able to sort of process a little bit better, they just go running amok.
Yeah. Were you, viewers, surprised by how many pods were launched? Please comment down below. Because, I thought maybe like 1, 2, but not. I didn't even keep count. There were so many. There was one, you're like, oh, they're still going. Any other thoughts on the episode before we do some predictions? Or any other comments from the chat?
So Chris Servicki says, my guess is Mao is going to see Julie again, and it's not going to end well for him. I'm like,
ooh, I like that theory.
That would be good. Douglas says, I really hope May will be okay, but still fear they'll inject her before she's saved.
Agreed. Probably.
Carlos Anglita says he has 2 children, so it drives him insane. Yes, if I had children, I think that would be really hard on me. And of course, I'm so sorry, so hard to read something. We're like, my gosh. Carlos Anglada says, Gunny, this is one Martian Marine. The strength in numbers argument that Earth tries to pull really sounds hollow when you consider her level of badassery.
True.
Yes.
That. Because it's like you can have 10 people, but if you have one who is just that amazing, it can make a difference.
Yes, and a well-trained Marine is much better than just an average person like us, or even just a regular private, because she's not even a regular Marine. Yeah. She's like
super Marine.
Super Marine.
Yes. All right, let's do some predictions. Wait, there we are.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
And don't worry, I'm not cheating knowing book stuff, because it's so different right now that I'm like, it's different. It's been a while since some of this happened, so it's like, because I actually read it essentially last year, because I was reading it with it, and then I'm like, oh, it's been a little while. I'll do more like things I want to happen. I want May to be okay, but I'm worried she might not be. Or maybe she'll get just a tiny bit, and either they're A, able to reverse it, or B, she can live with that small amount, though technically it multiplies and stuff. But still, maybe they'd be able to figure out a way to deal with it.
Yes.
I think Naomi and Holden are on the right path to forgiveness. I would like them to at least... They're more cordial with each other now, so thank goodness. I would love them, of course, to be a couple again. But I think that will take some time, and I hope that they can get past that big thing, but still a big thing. But, or at least, they're making... I think they're making steps towards being better together. And... I really wanted, almost like Holden's first message, to send out that Aaron message to everyone.
Yes, everybody.
I wanted that to be sent to everyone the way Holden did that with the Canterbury thing. Yes. I mean, maybe it could be chaos, but I was so worried that the ensign, when he had the one thing, that they'd like break it or something, and then he would have no copy.
Yes.
So that's why I was like, oh, let's just send it to everybody, and so then that way it's out there. But I think that's about it. What do you think?
I'm hoping that Southers set something up so that if he dies or if he doesn't put in a code at a certain time, it just goes out to all the entire universe.
Yes.
I hope that Cutyer escapes off the ship, because I adore him and he's super fun and great.
He needs to live.
I am hoping that Bobby is able to get through the doorway and able to sort of save all the children, because it's not just May there. There's still a couple other
There's two other children there. Yeah.
And then
and it looks a little dangerous. So that previews for next week, Bobby has an encounter thing, which if you didn't watch it, Bobby meets something.
She meets something that I hope.
But
she
maybe
can take
with her suit, it's safer. Ish.
I almost
think it's better than the other suits they have.
Meets is Katua, who hasn't completely... Humanity still sort of like peeks in on him every once in a while.
Oh, so do you think Katua could really still be in there?
He's a little bit in there, but he's almost out. But he's not completely. I find that when they ask him questions, it agitates him. But if he's just like chill and you're not being aggressive towards him, he's fine. And then I believe Dr. Pratt is going to see his daughter and know that she got a shot, and he's still going to want to bring her on the ship. And he's going to keep it to himself and not tell everybody.
Oh, kind of like zombie stuff. Somebody gets bitten and they don't tell people. And Prax is like, no, my daughter's fine.
It's his daughter. She's fine. I mean, he's a scientist. So if he gets all Dr. Strickland's research, then hypothetically he could backdate it. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sciencey like that.
That's a good question. A question-ish prediction that made me think, too. Do we think Naomi will ever give her reasoning to Amos? I know she cares way more about Holden, what Holden thinks of her, so I understand 100% why she would explain to him why. I don't think Amos she'll explain it, but I kind of want her to, because I think she misses that relationship. And that, again, might not be the same ever again, but I hope she can get some kind of, build a bridge there, or at least building blocks.
She's tried to reach out to Amos, and every time he shuts it down because he's unforgivably... I think part of his anger towards her is that she was the person who was his leader that he relied on so much. I don't know what time period they met, but I think the betrayal to him felt much deeper because he knew her longer. They had a brotherly, sisterly, non-sexual relationship, and whether he liked her giving it to the other Belters or to Amos, I mean not to Amos, but to Fred. If she had told him about it, he'd have been like, don't do that. But he'd have been fine if she had told him. True. And they just kept the secret amongst themselves. I think getting him to forgive her will be much harder because Holden loves her and he's having the bouncy time with her, and he likes having the bouncy time with her, and so he wants to start that up again.
I took a second, I'm like, the what? Oh, yes.
And I think that his friendship with Pratt is giving him amount of independence that he hasn't had in such a long time.
He probably needed it anyway.
That he doesn't, also, I don't think he wants to go back to his old life where she told him to do everything all the time.
That's a good point. Let us know your thoughts down below. What are your predictions? What do you want to happen? If you have read books and the series, please no spoilers. We don't want to like ruin it for anybody else. But then again, it's a bit different, which I highly recommend reading the books because it's so enjoyable to keep it going. And then hopefully the show will find a place for season 4. Keep tweeting, keep getting that message out there. Let networks and platforms know we want to continue the Expanse.
Yes.
You want the Expanse to continue.
Yes.
And we'll let you know if we hear any developments.
Yes, we will.
All right, where can they find you?
They can find me, Cherry_LA, on Twitter and Instagram. Mondays with The Terror. Tuesdays, The 100. Wednesdays, Deception. And of course, with you guys, The Expanse on Sundays.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. All right, we'll see you all next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.